They just want to show you how I draw my trend line, how you can also draw the trend line. I know when you go to the internet, most people do bash trend line because we have different strategy, but then like I keep saying, guys, each and every strategy in the forex market works. You just need to perfect it, master it, and continue to do the same thing, right? So for instance, when I talk about trend line, I'm talking about maybe the market going up or the market going down, right? Now it's just the same thing. Trend line is just the same as demand and supply, or support and resistance, right? But then talking about demand and supply, this is usually the case. The market somehow usually moves sideways, right? But talking about trend line, it is a market that is moving, a market that is trending, creating highs and lows, something like this, right? But then when we talk about demand and supply, support and resistance, this is just a market that usually somehow consolidate or range. So I usually do look for only trending market. That's why we call it a trend line, right? Now when drawing my trend lines, I do make sure that I start from the last two highs or the last two swing lows, right? So if I'm looking for a buying market, that is if the market is moving or pushing up, something like this, let's just start. If the market is pushing up, let's just say we had this kind of trend, something like this, right? So this is how I draw my trend line. I don't start my trend from this join, something like this. Like I say, I start from the last two swing lows or two swing highs, right? So I'm talking about this last two, 1 2, right? That is if I was looking for my entry right here. Let's just do this, something like this, right? 1 2, look for my entry right there, right? Now let's say for instance the market had already pushed. I'm not going to start my trend line from this leverage here. I'm going to start my trend line from the last two right here, 1 2. I hope when you watch my previous video, I bet you've heard me saying 1 2 like that. 1 2 3, let's go. 1 2 3, that is what I mean. 1 2 right there. So my anticipation is when I'm waiting for a pullback, this is the third right there, and that is where I'm looking for my buy entry position, and vice versa. If I flip my screen, something like this, 1 2, the third touch, I look for my sell position, right? So let's just go and try to understand the same thing on the on the real market. Now for instance, I might start from this. If I want to look for my buy of the third, right here, 1 2, something like that, and then make sure I zoom in and cater for each and every, make sure that the trend touches the wick, not just the body, because I understand most people do like to do this, something like this. It does not make sense, right? Make sure that the trend line touches the body. Why will the wick? Why will we ignore the wick and yet that is still a candlestick, right? Price rejection. Now once I'm done with this, the next thing is identify what price is doing, right? The same thing, we just do the same thing. Remember, let's just talk about this is also a trend, right? I know. Now let's just bring in a demand and supply, something like this. People do have this, is their supply zone, and of course right here is their demand or something like that. Okay, now these are a ranging market, right? Now if you analyze your market based on a lower time frame, this is how you go to the market. Maybe start your analysis from 4 hours, then you say, okay, each and every time the market hits this level, each and every time the market hits this high, it drops. Each and every time the market hits this low, it goes up. Hits this high, it drops. Hit this low, it goes up. So right now you're just trading a ranging market. So anticipation is each and every time the market hits this level, you should be looking for sale. And then you're forgetting that, oh, we are trending, the market kills you, right? So this is it. Now I know, oh, we're grabbing liquidity. The market went and grabbed liquidity. What do I mean? Went and took out this high. Okay, and then guess what? Right here the market gave us a bearish candlestick. So that's a sign that, oh, bears are coming in. Let me take my sell position, have my stop above right there, and as usual I'm targeting all this level right here. That was a supply, a demand zone, a support zone, and then see what the market did. Now what happened is just because you never saw this trend line, right? That's why I keep saying it does not matter which strategy you're trading, as long as you don't identify the market direction, the market will keep burning you, right? no matter what, no matter you trading SMC, ICT, demand and supply, whichever strategy, if you don't understand the market direction, you'll be like, okay, the market gave me a good fair value gap. The market, pull back to my POV. The market pull back to, those names, you guys know them. And then you understand, oh, why did the market take me out? You never identified the market direction, right? So if you are trading maybe those type of strategy, once you identify the trend direction, something like this, 1 2 3, right, you understand, oh, we are now basically cruising at the third time. Then I say, understand how price is approaching a support or a resistance. We understand this approach right there. That's a very key approach. Yeah, so now let me bring back the demand and supply. Let's just say we had this level right there marked out as our demand right there. Correct. Now we need to understand how price is going to approach that level. Now this is the approach right here. Let's just bring it. That's also another trend line right there. Now for those who go to the lower time frame and then only analyze this portion right here, only that portion. In fact, let's just go for instance to the 15 minutes and understand that portion that we just identified. Where are you? Where is our chart? Oh, all right. So I think we should take it way back. I just need to show you how I interpret the market basically when I'm trading right there. Oh, okay. I should let me go maybe to the 1 hour right here. Now for those who analyze the market based on the lower time frame, we come to the market and identify, oh, we currently in a downtrend. Let's just remove this. We currently in a downtrend, and you understand, oh, first touch, second touch, so I should be looking for selling position right here. Then guess what? Boom, you take your entry, then the market pans. So the thing is, you never did your homework well based on the higher time frame to understand where we're cruising at, right? So once we identify how price approaching our key levels, right, we understand that this was our demand zone right there, and of course our trend line support right there. So we need to understand how the market is approaching that level, and that is when we should be looking for our entry property. Basically, this Euro NZD that I'm analyzing, I still have this video that I caught all this move with my gang. This upward movement is still in YouTube, right? I caught all this buy. This was an amazing swing that we held for, if not 2 or 3 weeks. That is it, just because of trend line. So yes, I'm supposed to show you something right here. Now there is a time, I think I should show you with an example. There's an example that I saw. Was it USDJPY? There's something also when drawing your trend line you should be keen on. Now let me just illustrate before, right? So this is what I mean. The market might be giving you, yes, a pull, a push, higher high, higher low, right? Higher high, and then price does this, something like this, then does this, does this, then does this, something like this, right? So previously this is how I used to, let me just adjust this to make it third touch. This is how I used to do my trend, for instance, something like that. And yes, I'm looking for my entry. Let's say I took my entry right there, then my stop loss, of course, something like that. So then I see price doing this, price goes to my anticipated direction, something like this. Then I'm like, yo, why is price coming back to stop me out? I don't know what's happening. But then I realized, oh yeah, this is right, because this is right. This was right. When I did take this entry, yes, the market gave me a clear trend. That was right. But there's something that I missed, right? Something so tiny. Let me just show you right here. You guys saw this right here, right? Price did create something over here. So this is what I did ignore. And when I was back testing, I realized if price behave in this manner, something like this, don't ignore and start your trend line right here. Yes, I say start your trend from the last two. Don't ignore this. I came to realize that this is very important, something like that. Somehow doesn't make sense, but then I realize that the market do respect that. You see price doing this, then goes back, respect that trend line, then now comes back to take you out, right? So we should be keen. Let me just show. I think the scenario, so many. Let's just say maybe was it USD JPY? Let me just. But I think so many pairs do behave in such manner. Let me try to find. Sketch. I think there's this two right here. There's that two. No, that's not clear. Let me just try to look for one. I think we had something here back then. Is it right? Let me just pause and try to find out. Oh yeah, I think I found one right here. So if I zoom out, you can see, okay, the market was giving us a high, low, high, low. So as usual, we should have our trend something like this, and on the third touch we should be looking for entries, right? But then if you try to zoom in right here, there's a wick right here, right there. So basically I know this is how I should be looking for my trend, something like this, right? And then look for my entry. For instance, let me just say, okay, I had my entry, sorry, for instance, I had my entry right there and my stop right there, and of course target at least 1:3, something like this, roughly maybe something like that. That's like 1:3, for instance, something like that. But then you see what I did ignore right here. Right here there's a trend right there, right? So this is what I mean. This is how I'm supposed to make sure my trend starts from this. Doesn't make sense, but once price moves, it will make sense. So you see, price does this, price goes, somehow respect that level, then goes back all the way, then stops me out, right? So this is it. So when drawing your trend line, make sure you are keen, right? Make sure everything is making sense before price burns you. You know, the market is very crazy, and one should be very careful. In fact, that is, when drawing your trend line, you should always be keen, because one slight mistake, one move, the market is going to stop you, right? So check out my Telegram link in the description box below, and adios mi amigos, peace.